Good day, everyone. Welcome to Seeking the Truth channel. I'm Simon Oladapo, your host. In our last engagement, we established that the only thing that the brain feeds on, the human brain, is information. And that information can be right and may be wrong. Whatever information that is fed to the brain is what the brain will analyze and then deploy to inform our choices and decisions. Now, in our discussion on God's role in the emergence of leaders, we haven't come to this established fact that the only thing the human brain feeds on is information. Let me state here clearly that whoever tells you that God chooses leaders for society has fed you a wrong information. That is the first information you need to get out of your brain if your choices and your decisions concerning your leaders will be right. Because God does not choose leaders for people. Let me go into the Bible, because I've seen God tie God's name. I've seen many tie God's name to the emergence of leaders. The Bible counteracts that. In Proverbs chapter 14, verse 34, the Bible says, righteousness exalts a nation. It says sin is a reproach to any people. It is righteousness that exalts a nation through the leaders that it produces. Let me explain righteousness. Righteousness is relational. It's the Hebrew word tzedek. It has to do with justice, fairness, and performing of obligations to God and to man. Let me say that again so we get it clearly. Righteousness is relational. Righteousness is tangible. Righteousness is relational. So when the Bible says righteousness exalts a nation, the Bible did not say prayer exalts a nation. When we talk of righteousness, we're talking of justice, fairness, and fulfillment of obligations to God and to others. How is it important to the emergence of leaders? First, it talks about justice because it's the fundamental component of righteousness. Justice. Prayer does not exalt a nation. Prayer is not in the equation of righteousness. Listen to that again. Prayer is not in the equation of righteousness. It is justice, fairness, and fulfilling of obligations to God and to others. Now let's start with justice. The word justice, mishpat, is strictly giving to others what they deserve, what they desire. Giving to others what they deserve, irrespective of how you feel, irrespective of how you love them, irrespective of how much you hate them, irrespective of how much you disagree with them. As long as it is what they deserve, ensure it gets to them. That is justice. And justice is a sword with two sides. It avails for those who stand right and bring those who do wrong to consequence. Now, what does that mean? When someone commits a crime, if the punishment is 10 years, irrespective of who that person knows or how connected that person is, that person should get 10 years. If someone commits a crime, if the punishment for that crime is 5 years, that person should get 5 years, notwithstanding how connected they are. In fact, in Exodus 23, verse 2, it said, do not show favor to the poor when he's wrong. If a poor man wrongs foul of the law, don't let his poverty state be an influence on how you bring him to justice. If a rich man wrongs foul of the law, let his wealth not be an influence on how he comes to justice. That is righteousness. The other one is fairness. Doing unto people what should be done to them. Either they can or cannot reward you. Either they can or cannot appreciate you. Either they are or are not even in a position to know you are the one who did it. That is fairness. Let me give an example. When it says fulfill your obligations to others and to God, the word tzedek, righteousness. Let me use myself as an example. I am a son. I am a husband. I am a friend. I am a brother. I have siblings. I have nieces and nephews. I'm an uncle. I have neighbors. I'm a neighbor to others. And I'm a citizen. All these relationships that I'm connected with, there are obligations that they demand from me. My being a husband place some obligations on me. When I fulfill those obligations, I have done tzedek. I have done righteousness. When I fulfill my obligations to my children as their father, I have done tzedek. I have done righteousness. When I fulfill my obligations to my parents as a son, I have done tzedek. I have done righteously. When I fulfill my obligations to my neighbors as their neighbor, I have done righteousness. So righteousness is relational. Righteousness is tangible. It's not an abstract. Righteousness has little or nothing to do with prayers. Now, how does this tie to the emergence of leaders? In choosing leaders, the first thing that must guide you is the standard of righteousness. Get the true information. Analyze it. Let your decisions be based on information that is genuine and true. Let your information be based on justice. Let your information be based on fairness. When the information that you get is twisted, propaganda, falsehood, and your choice and decisions are based on those false information, you have done unrighteously, not only to others, but to yourself. And it's going to reflect for sure on the choice of who you are going to produce as a leader. Do not forget, as you continue this journey, God does not choose leaders. He has given man brain. Whatever choice you make, God will not violate it. Whatever decisions you take, God will not override you. But the consequences and the outcomes shall be solely yours. Thank you for spending your time with me today. Please don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe. Please drop your questions and let us engage. A great day lies ahead of you and a wonderful weekend. Take good care of yourself and your family. I'll see you next week.